Now, a chance of rain coming up this weekend, and we don't usually think of gutters in Southern California. But,
exactly the problem.
Okay, but it can be a mess, can't it?
Well, what happens is we don't think of gutters until we need gutters, and then everything just falls apart. Mm-hmm. You know, you got water pooling up against the house. Michelle asked me earlier today, she's like, do you need gutters? And the question is, I don't know. And one of the problems is here in Southern California, it's not a code requirement for anybody's house. The code requirement is this, that you should have a conveyance of water, of surface water, away from your house at approximately a 1% grade, which is about 1/8 of an inch per foot. All city municipalities care about is if rainwater rolls off your roof and moves away from your house. And technically...
Well, that's any roof that is a pitch roof.
No. Away from the house once it hits the ground. See, that's an issue too.
But wait a minute. If you have a pitch roof and the water's coming down as it goes off the end of the eaves, for example, it's going to fly a foot or 2 feet past the wall of the house. Does that make it so it's...
you went to law school. You did not... You were not a science major.
What do you mean? Think about this.
How far do you think that water has to travel and pick up speed to shoot 3 or 4 feet away from your house?
Well, maybe a foot or 6 inches. But if it's coming from the pitch, at the top of the pitch, and water is coming down, water is coming down.
Yeah, it's not falling directly straight down, but it's not shooting beyond the 5-foot, requirement.
All right, so shooting at a 1 foot.
Sure.
And that meets code.
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, there you go.
So the point is this, though. Southern Californians are terrible with gutters. We ignore them, even if we have them. We buy cheap ones, which is the worst thing to do in the world. We forget about cleaning them. We think leaves are the only issue. Leaves are not the primary issue, Michelle. It's dust. Dust.
Because it creates mud?
Because it creates mud. Dust fall, just like you leave your car outside, right? It starts picking... those gutters are there all year long. They're picking up dust. Every night, the air gets moist. It wets it down. It makes a little cement. And the next thing you know, your gutters, which most of them are not sloped and pitched to actually convey water directionally, most of them are set flat so that the presence of water itself spreads out until it hits the downspouts. So with mud forming up there, it's really, really easy to block your gutters and back them up.
Now, I'm thinking about the gutters in my house. And I think that there is somewhat of a slope, not very much, 1 inch, 2 inches over the entire front of the house. But I'm thinking if you don't, that's crazy because you have water that's going to be standing water and it's mosquito land if you don't have a slope.
We try and slope it as much as we can, but the point is, you've got a very straight level fascia line at your roof line. And, if you've got a nice long 30, 40-foot gutter run and you're sloping it really nicely for the sake of the water, people walk up to your house and they see your gutter and they're like, what's wrong with that thing? Why is it crooked? Why is your gutter hanging funny on the front of your house? So that's the problem. So we try and do short runs. We slope it minimally, imperceptibly. But flat is acceptable as long as there's enough downspouts nearby. In other words, as long as the water doesn't have to travel 60 feet to get to the down drain, it's okay if it's flat. It'll find its way, and the rest will evaporate.
So how do you know whether you need to clean your gutters or not without getting up on a ladder and looking down into the gutter and with a 30% chance of falling off and breaking your back?
There is a simple way to know.
Hire someone to do it?
No.
That's
whether you need to or not. Have you cleaned your gutters within the last 6 months? If the answer is no, you need to clean your gutters, period.
Every 6 months?
You should, yes, because you never know. You never know. And like I said, it's mostly dust. Now, if you've got leaves falling in your gutter as well, then you definitely need to address them every 6 months. And it's not that hard. Now, if you live in a 3-story house, cleaning gutters is tricky. Then you're going to have to hire somebody to take care of that for you. But most people, they're on a 1-story home. All they have to do is go get a $20 high-pressure hook nozzle. They sell these at DIY stores like Home Depot and Lowe's. You can get a gutter cleaning high-pressure nozzle. It just looks like a big cane. It goes on the end of your hose, and you hold it up there, and it hooks over and shoots pressure down into your gutter, and you just walk along and blow it all out.
See, that's clever as hell. Yeah, that's one of those things you see on TV. Buy one now. Wait a sec. There's more. You have 2 of them.
Right,
plus
there
6
are those
free
kinds of
yes,
things, for sure.
I love those. All right. You know what? Let's take a break and come back and talk about the plan for water after it comes down the spout. What do you do with water at the bottom when the water has successfully left your spout or your gutter?
Exactly.